Welcome, Irina Graf, good friend of mine, content creator, influencer, woman about town, expert on everything. I'd like to get your impressions, Irina, about the show in general this year at IMEX. Quite a buzz, I'm sure you'll agree. And tell us about the session you delivered as well.
Yeah, so I think this year is very busy. On Tuesday, when I arrived early in the morning, it was already full. Like the show was buzzing. There was no slow start. It was full on. So I started my preparations already around November. It was a lot of work, but I think it really paid off, and I see already really good project.
It's a big fixture in the calendar, and of course for you, you're based in Germany, so it's one of the trips you must relish.
Yeah, definitely.
And you started off at the exclusively corporate day, yeah? How was that?
Yeah, so it was very interesting. So there were a mix of topics that they discussed. Of course, they discussed AI, they discussed creativity, and I think this year the biggest topic that stood out was the burnout.
Yes.
So they talked. There was a session about it, and they said that you really need to recharge. So they really talked that you need to take time to recover after an event, because the better your recovery, the better your next event will be. So really don't underestimate it. Take time to recover. Don't overwork yourself, because you will burn out. And we need to take care of ourselves, because we're in an industry where we want to take care of everyone else.
I'm glad to hear that it's not just old guys like me that feel it in the legs. So I look forward to taking some of the tips. And by the way, anyone who wants to get more of a synopsis of that, I recommend looking up Irina on LinkedIn, where she did a very nice summary of that. Tell us about your own session here at the show. What was the title of that? I dropped in late and there was a full house, so it looked very good from the outside, but tell me some more detail.
So the first session was aligning sustainability goals for multi-destination events. So we had representatives from the Zurich Convention Bureau, Lucerne Convention Bureau, and M.I.C.E. And how these three representatives come together is that two destinations, Lucerne and Zurich, they collaborated on an educational trip which is called Go Sustainable. So they invited planners just to explore both destinations in a sustainable way, which includes both ecological sustainability and social sustainability. And why this is interesting, because these two destinations can be competitors, but in fact they collaborated towards this goal. And M.I.C.E. earlier this year as well. So Go Sustainable was in April, and in March, M.I.C.E. also organized their M.I.C.E. Incentive Summit in Andermatt, which also belongs to the Lucerne region. And they also did it in a sustainable way. And one of the aspects that really was interesting is that they moved the group from Zurich to Andermatt by public transport. That means you need to change about 5 times the trains. But those who are familiar with Switzerland know that the trains are extremely reliable. They are clean and they are punctual, and you can make it an experience.
I don't recommend they try it in London, however.
We really showcased how you can take something that many people would not want to do or not think about doing, to make it an experience. And because you do it with a group, you can have it also as an experience. And sustainability sometimes can be a burden, that you say, oh no, how do we change the trains? How do we transport our luggage? What happens if there is a delay? So these challenges were overcome, and it was a really cool experience that the delegates actually remember and rave about it. The second case study was about the START Summit. So this is the largest student-run entrepreneurship conference that happens in St. Gallen in Switzerland. And the interesting thing about it is not your typical business conference. This is run entirely by students, and they don't do these things, and they don't do things the way all other business conferences are done. So there are no long sessions, or there are no boring formats. It's very interactive, it's very experiential, it's very Instagrammable. They have really funny ideas, they have memes, they have a unicorn rodeo, they have a tech tunnel. So these are the stuff that you would usually not see at any typical business conference. So we presented these case studies. We talked also about some of the challenges, like because this event run entirely by volunteers who take 1 year of their studies to organize this event. So what are the challenges? What are the opportunities? What they do different? What we as the ones who've been for over 15, 20 years in the industry can learn from the young generation.
Great stuff. And what is the next stop for you? What's your next project?
So yeah, in 3 weeks I'm going to Rotterdam. That's the Urban Future event, and that's again a very innovative event that is not your usual typical business conference. So this event, for example, so the topic Urban Future, it looks at the future of sustainable cities, and they always select a city that, again, it's not your typical city, right? It's not London, it's not Paris, it's not Las Vegas. So it really takes you to second-tier destinations.
Yes.
And also the discussions that are happening there, it's also about other tier destination cities, which is very interesting that I never hear at shows like M.I.C.E, unfortunately, because it opens you really your horizons, like what's happening in other cities, what they're doing to be more sustainable. They have really interesting session titles. So like when you see the session titles, you're like, wow, I want to go to this session. You got already inspired. It's like so catchy. And
Will do. A final question. If you had to pick out 2 second-tier cities to watch that are up and coming for our industry, give me a couple of names.
Yeah, okay, so St. Gallen, of course. I've been there now a couple of times, and this event that happened there, the Start Summit, it showcased that the city is attracting the startup ecosystem. There is a lot of innovation happening there. It's a city that is very walkable. You can walk, you can take a public transport, so it's very easy to move around. They just built a new hall, which is like the biggest hall in the Congress Center. And it's also going to define their next years, the type of events that they will attract, and the formats of these events as well.
Number 2?
Yeah, number 2, okay. Rotterdam. I've been to the city in 2018. There was a conference, and I attended this conference, and if not this conference, I wouldn't have visited Rotterdam, because it was not on my holiday list. So I think this is very important to understand that it's important to bring your conferences to the cities that really open the horizons of your curiosity, of seeing different venues, having different experiences, local experiences, and I was introduced then, thanks to this conference, to Rotterdam, and I've been seeing then Rotterdam at M.I.C.E, IBTM, and last year I was at Urban Future in Stuttgart. And it was a great surprise that the next destination for Urban Future, it's Rotterdam, and it was such a great fit, and I knew that because I'm familiar already with Rotterdam, I wanted also to see all the kind of the transition, all the developments that have happened in Rotterdam in the past years. So it's a really great opportunity to combine what's new in the city with a conference that is aligned also with the city goals. And this year as well, it will be a focus in Rotterdam is on water management and social responsibility. So I think that will be a very interesting conversation to learn and see how Rotterdam is preparing for the sustainable future.
Great. Well, look, many thanks, Irina, for all the words of wisdom. See you on the circuit somewhere soon, and we'll be sure to take your advice.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.